Deixa eu ver o draft. TK Jinx contra EZ Karma. Victor contra Kali. Kennen contra Gwen. E Shinzao contra Lecin. Tá. Top, eu acho que o Kennen puxa. Bot, eu acredito que a Karma e o EZ puxem no início. Depois eles têm o perigo de tomar o win do TK, a Karma. Só que a Jinx consegue puxar o wave. Mid, o Faker vai ganhar muito hard no início. A partir do 6 ele fica com um pouco de medo.
And it just goes to show that these types of issues in a game like League of Legends are so massive that, you know, it's going to take a debate. It will decide and create a
Vamos continuar.
on a whim kind of thing. So,
and also like, yeah,
I'm kind of proud of everybody like to have made it through this.
Yeah, no, exactly right, exactly right. And also like being able, like this decision is something that will be, you know, spoken about once again, just to see whether a decision like this was made in the
Tá,
future.
Karma e EZ puxam, né, essa lane.
About it. Interested to hear your thoughts as well. Just leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Hang on a second, we're on Twitch. Never mind. Don't do that.
Whether you ask for it or not, I know there will be a lot of people online who have.
Faker puxou mid,
Yeah, there might be another
pegou o ward galinha, porque dá tracking no jungler, certo? Já sabem que eles sabem que ele começou topside, teve leash, deixa eu ver se teve leash o Lee. O Lee não teve leash, então o Faker puxou as duas do mid rápido, certo? Porque se ele dá slow push nas duas primeiras, ele não consegue guardar a galinha a tempo de ver o Lee. Então ele puxou rápido as duas primeiras pra poder botar essa ward aqui, porque eles não sabiam onde o Lee tinha começado. Ó, ward galinha. Agora se o Lee fizer galinha, ele toma tracking.
As we are just watching Showmaker get shoved in by the Victor, of course, range advantage here for the Victor, and also a fair bit of early control of the wave. Does mean that Faker should have a lot of control, as we mentioned earlier on. So,
vira que ele tá na galinha.
Theoretically, it should be Damwon here with control of the bottom side of the map, as far as their lanes, and top side of the map should belong to T1, and that is exactly what we're seeing right now, as even Grimmush and Keria playing this.
Eles têm o track do Lee agora, que ele tá indo pra baixo.
Kind of built different.
Yeah, I think the breakdown we had from Chronicler and Valdez earlier, I think highlighted some of the stuff we were already talking about in draft. I think having something like Camille on the top side of the map would have been fantastic for T1, or any sort of really strong side lane champion. I think that's the one part of their composition that has a bit of a late game hole, because everything else scales very well. You have a lot of survivability. The Akali win rate, I think, is based on a certain hole in the meta, like this period where Akali was doing well. And in the laning matchup, though, those stats don't reflect it. The early part is obviously rough for Akali, but laning here so far for Showmaker is pretty great.
Yep. Checking out the win rate here, I believe the most recent Ezreal Karma match was a loss, so it was 5-0 before that. Certainly has been a lane that's been.
Então os dois Jones deram power farm, pegaram Scuttle. O Faker colocou uma ward na galinha. O Kennen, o Zeus colocou uma ward no Grump. Eles têm informação do tracking. Bot lane, trocação é pesada. Que o Kennen não foi mid por cima. Porque se ele fosse por cima, ele ia perder muito tempo, velho. Ele quer pegar o 6 dele rápido. Se ele delear muito o 6 dele, pode ser ruim. Entendeu? Matar o Victor não vai fazer tanta diferença, mano. Ele ia continuar farmando aí, ó. Ele tá mid, mas não, nem mata ele. Por baixo? Por causa disso, muito difícil matar.
Are starting to add up a little bit here as well.
Absolutely.
We'll see the opportunity given here for Duckdom to back. And the question is, like we were talking about before, will we see Prowler's Claw? Will we see any sort of Dustblade lethality build here for the Ezreal? Because I think on the global team here, we're all in agreement that's going to be better than the Crown.
Yeah, no, I like that one a lot. Often our players just don't like building a Mythic at all, is kind of the way. Essence Reaver, Muramana, things like that are sort of the way to go. Sherilda's comes in after that. So that's sort of the idea that a lot of the Korean Ezreal players do have at the moment, and certainly going to be a fine choice as well. So we'll see exactly where Duckdom's going to go.
O Faker tá sem mana ali mesmo, bem de boa. Acho que ele tá querendo o B de bota, se pá. Botar de Sorcerer. Deixa eu ver, peraí, vamos ver a movimentação aqui. Rolou uma movimentação interessante. Dokodo e Kelly deram B com o push deles. O Shinzao farmou todos os campos. Tá invadindo a galinha, que o Faker pegou info com a outra ward dele. Eles sabiam o tempo dessa galinha, tá? Ó. Tá vendo? Eles já tinham... Como ele botou a ward na primeira galinha, eles viram quando ela caiu. Então o Honor tinha o tempo da segunda galinha. O Showmaker tá low, não consegue lutar. O Faker tá sem mana. Quer passou mid pra dar uma moral na wave. O One não pode entrar aí agora, porque eles estão consertando a wave do Faker. Ah, o Faker tá 6. Eita! Pô, TK forte, né, mano? A Karma trollou.
Picks it up. It's the roaming Tom Catch. You know, you just never see it coming. And they're holding Showmaker here. It's going to look for another one. It's okay. Carrier still going to dive on forward as into the Shroud goes Showmaker. Chaos Storm partying underneath this turret right now. They're going to get played. Yeah, might just go down, and yeah, Faker collects that money. And they're denying a little bit of CS as well, pulling him out of experience. Like, this is such a great play. Even if you don't get the second kill here, you just stay, and it forces Kellen to rotate up, but he's not having much luck there, and Gumayusi is free farming in a lane that you normally are losing. You're normally under turret against the Karma Ezreal, and he's just sitting here free farming.
Look at this guy. This portly catfish just wanders past. And yeah, Carrier not going to be, sorry, Kellen not going to be able to lock him down. Canyon here in the area, but isn't going to be able to do enough.
This is the macro gap, Atlas. T1 putting pressure on in one lane.
Looked to me like a catfish gap, not gonna lie.
I mean, there's a little bit of that going on, but they are able to force an Akali who's already struggling out of lane. Now we're looking for the Canyon rotation.
Yeah, that's a flash Abyssal Dive to try and get him out, but he's on the leash. Does have the Grey Health, he's going to use it. Is Canyon looking to try and finish that one off, and he does so. They managed to pick up Carrier as Damonkia make it out.
So punished finally here for the aggression that we saw and how deep.
Kenny frisou top.
No matter what, unless you totally botch the execution under turret, because you're even over here pushing the enemy jungler out. Faker has the wave crashing into turret, so minions will be lost. The ignite is good here, and then they see the Karma speed up and walk away, and they just where they get after that. Punished for it.
Yep.
Vamos ver Herald logo mais. O Guma não deu B ainda.
High value alcove ward there as well. Like that one a lot from Damonkia. So able to even things out. T1 still hold a slight gold advantage.
Ele cancelou o B? Não, caralho.
As well as still retaining a bunch of CS as this wave does begin to stack up.
Vamos ver agora o que a T1 vai fazer, mano. Porque eles estão atrás em tempo, certo? Porém, é EZ contra a Jinx. O que a T1 pode fazer agora? Mandar a Jinx pro topside pra pegar o Herald e fazer um trade sides contra o EZ. Porque eles já estão atrás em tempo. Talvez seja a melhor play possível pra eles. A não ser que eles não vão pro Herald e vão cancelar a play do bot. Nossa, a Gwen tá sofrendo, hein?
Advantage that you get as Kennen, it's very similar in matchup because you are ranged, and if Gwen tries to trade with you, you set up a stun, so it's very difficult for her to actually heal through and actually win those trades. It's basically impossible in the early game.
Eita, eles vão... Mano, esses malucos pensam em tudo, cara. Que desgraça, velho.
Talked about it a lot here on our casting desk a million years ago, but T1
parece que eles estão sempre com o macro perfeito, velho.
Committed to here means I think they're going to need to get more than that. Otherwise, this is not a trade up because Ezreal is getting free plates, and they are going to try to force this dive onto Birdall, and they can turn this into a whole turret if they can actually make this work. And regardless
que
of
doideira, eles vão levar a torre primeiro, pô.
And you're going to lose a turret here if no one else comes up. And unfortunately for Damonkia, the response is a little bit late.
Maker looking for the solo kill. There's the perfect execution. Faker flashes, throws down the Chaos Storm, and just says goodbye. But that's definitely a great trade.
Esses all-ins são foda, mano. Deu muito dano essa cara. Olha lá, levaram primeiro. Ainda é capaz de levar T2.
Well,
Keria.
yeah, Kery's just going to voyage his way forward. And
Passaram mid ainda.
Gentleman's agreement. There absolutely is not. This is a team game, sir.
Look at the wards, all to the left of the Rift Herald pit. They have, with that dive top side, which was cancelled, of course, by Birdall backing away, they have several wards.
Mano, tô te falando, parece que eles sempre têm a melhor resposta pra todas as situações, velho. Isso é bizarro, cara. Porque eu tô aqui, tipo assim, sem pressão, com o mapa aberto, falando o que é o melhor pra fazer. E eles vão lá e fazem todas as vezes, cara. É bizarro, mano. É muito difícil com o mapa fechado, rapaziada. Vocês não tem noção.
Showmaker has no vision whatsoever. There's control wards there, so T1 know this, and Showmaker just pushing the issue a little bit too far, and he's feeling frustrated, he's feeling the pressure, he's down 15 CS, got Faker's flash, wants to prove further that he can actually get back into more of an even territory in this lane, try to grab a plate.
Tipo assim, eu não vou negar que eu prefiro a situação, eu acho que eu prefiro a situação DZ aqui, que ele pegou tudo solo. Mas mesmo assim, mano, a T1 tava numa posição de desvantagem. Eles terem achado uma resposta even já é incrível.
End up being pretty massive here for Dom1 Kia, because that's what they did gain. This is the ultimate that was also expended here from Zeus. Zeus not over here.
Yep.
And so, you know, DuckDom is going to be very accelerated and in this game because he picked up all those blades bottom side. How much will that impact the mid game? I think it will be a lot.
No, I'm hoping so for Damwon's case, right? Like, if you are a Damwon fan and you want this series to go to 3 games, in fact, if you're just a League of Legends fan, you probably want this series to go to 3 games. It was the third game that was the most interesting. The first time around with our Gwen jungle that we saw.
Tá, deixa eu voltar aqui pra ver as movimentações de mapa, tá? Desculpa, rapaziada, eu preciso voltar. Shinzal voltou a farmar. A Jinx já tá voltando da base, tá na frente em tempo do EZ. O Victor tá na frente em tempo. Tá, bot side eles estão na frente, eles vão estar na frente em wave. Ó, o Faker tá indo bem pelo cantinho ali.
No, I'm hoping so for Damwon's case, right? Like, if you
puxaram uma wave.
Faker
puxou uma, alguma foda-se puxou outra. Já entraram no rio.
The first time around with our Gwen jungle that we saw managed to set up that really nice level 1. But we need to get there for that to happen. And right now, Dom1 Kia are about 1,500 gold behind. And DuckDom is certainly the man that really has a lot on his back as far as getting stuff done. He was the one that got priority in the draft to get that lane as powerful as possible.
Another problem for DuckDom here is that with the gold he got,
Faker falou, foda-se bot, eu não sobrevivo lá. Juntou no mid, agora decidiu só coletar o wave, porque ele não consegue disputar o wave.
Potential duo there it is, shown just briefly.
Yeah, and Faker's gonna look for it. There's the kick flash, and Faker felt like he was in relatively safe distance, and I did too, but it's not.
Yeah.
Showmaker's gonna finish that off with the perfect execution. This time it's going to work out, and bring your friends is the aim of the game.
Finally, Dom1 Kia are able to take out this Victor and breathe on the map a little bit. They are able to punish Faker, who was sidelining safely, as you mentioned, and how he knew he had an inkling of something coming, but I showed myself.
O Faker foi punido. Tá vendo como, tipo assim, o Faker não jogou errado ali. O Faker tava, mano, ele entendia que tinha chance dele morrer e ele tava de boa. Mas o Canon teve que extrair o máximo do Lee Sin pra poder fazer uma play em cima do Faker. Extraiu o máximo, né? Então tu vê, é difícil fazer play neles, velho. Acho foda isso o cara saber respeitar a jogada mesmo assim tomar. É porque o outro maluco jogou muito bem. No caso o Canyon, né? O Canyon sabia que ele tava sem flash e já sabia como ser a play. Não, não tô falando que só o Canyon consegue extrair muito do Lee Sin. Tô falando que é difícil achar essas oportunidades de play num jogo de tão alto nível.
Had to invest a lot into making sure they got the kill onto Faker, but I think that if you get the flash from the Victor, punishing it is very important.
Yeah, and that's why they were so far, and that's why Showmaker was so far up earlier and was punished himself, as he really wanted that Victor pick.
Zeus Not going to try and fight Kellen here. Didn't have enough information as to what was going on. 13 minutes into this
Explica a bota do Faker? CDR.
Shelley gonna be coming
Pra dar
in
mais Q e
soon.
correr mais.
We did see, of course, T1 investing Shelley on the top side of the map, and the bottom lane did get punished for it. Faker now trying to get some farm done, and is going to be doing so. Actually has managed to increase his lead by just...
Aí agora eles sentaram a bunda e começaram a farmar T1. T1 não quer lutar agora, não quer nenhuma play. O Faker não tem nenhum item ainda.
To see Faker fall down in the early stage, but Showmaker getting more kills, that's what T1 needs to worry about, because his Akali was actually just the most dangerous that we had, but he just didn't...
Dangerous Akali do Showmaker.
You know, I want to say somewhat difficult to peel with composition here for T1, because obviously the cannon ult, if it's used, if Akali's trying to get the back time at
Faker fez coroa,
that time,
indo pro mid por causa do Herald.
But
a DK tá jogando 3 lanes, porque o EZ é muito safe. Eles estão com tempo. Aí eles falaram, ah, a Kali tá lá, a gente pega o push com a Jinx já, deixa eu voltar e farmar minha side. Aí eu tenho um TP, aí o Faker foi lá. Eu só fui lá porque tem TP.
And you see, make it see a comeback this game because of the Akali, because of the Gwen. You need that extra survivability as Faker so you can dish out that damage. Late game, Jinx on the other hand, because her positioning is going to be a lot more ranged and a lot more waiting for that first tick, the first part of the excitement, she's actually going to build Kraken Slayer, which I agree with here as well.
I agree with it because of the Tahm Kench, right? If you've got Devour, then you don't need to Gale Force around and you can have that extra damage. I like it.
Yeah, it's not that greedy when you consider the Tahm Kench. You consider that she will be further away from the fight than Victor will in every situation.
Yep. Well, T1 jostling for some position around Shirley. Q's connecting here for Canyon as he's fishing for opportunities to make those plays. Does not have the flash available, and Showmaker...
Tá guiando farm agora é o Kennen.
Get that wave, push up that wave, crashing in the top lane.
Birdall can't get in here, and Zeus has flash ult, so I think you really have to respect this as Damwon Kia.
Well, Carrier dashing on forward, not exactly what he wants to do, as he does have some grey health to go through. True Shot Barrage does push the Tahm Kench out of this fight almost completely, though, as Shirley is going to back towards that pit. Showmaker able to start things off again, as you can see, Damwon Kia dealing with this mid lane minion wave.
Eles estão numa dança fodida ali, hein, velho. Decidiram, ó. Mesma situação, tipo, mesma não, a situação muito parecida do treino hoje, velho. Tava ali na dança do Herald e tal, viu que eles ganharam alguma vantagem. O que eles fizeram? Vamos, mano, vamos pro Dragon, Herald de vocês.
Onto the Victor, who's, you know, not going to be able to hold this one down forever. The time is of the essence. Like, the slower you do this as Damwon Kia, the less valuable, and the smaller the window of time
levou bot.
the second Herald actually will be. So,
oh, here we
tá
go.
puxando o bot.
Finally, we get a relevant soul, everyone. Very happy about that.
Because Atlas, you mentioned the Drake being more important. Yeah, they get the Drake. Now they're going to get this turret here. And on the other side of the map, like, they just backed with the Eye. They use the Eye for the Empower back, but they don't actually make a topside play at the same time. So T1 are just, once again, getting the better exchange on the map. They're 2,000 gold ahead in this 2-2 game.
It's about efficiency.
Aí o TK tá perto do Faker ali pra... pra comer ele. Ele comemorou o Cloud Soul? Não, ele fez meme. Falando que a gente vai ter que vai ter uma alma relevante nesse jogo.
And so they went down towards that bottom lane and managed to grab that one as well. My analogy fell flat on its face. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say.
It was T1 went to Walmart. There's not everything there, you know?
Yeah, it's not everything. Yeah, I don't know whether they've got affordable prices because I don't go to Walmart ever because it wasn't in my country when I grew up.
Yeah, no, it's Walmart.
Do you buy walls there?
No.
Well, that seems like a bit of false advertising.
I think the guy's last name started with the Wall, the guy who made it. I think that's why it's called Walmart.
Was he Walter? Was that? Oh, wait, that's first name. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Someone will need to confirm for me whether they sell walls at Walmart.
They don't. I mean, well, they might have like some wallpaper stuff there at this point.
Yeah.
What don't they have at Walmart is the thing. But
well, maybe
T1,
walls.
T1 ends up getting a little bit of the walls deleted, right? They get a turret bottom side.
That was a segue. I love that.
Yeah, I'm trying. There's still 1500
Vou assinar a Amazon só pra dar Prime aqui. Que isso, Kelvin?
Time is ticking on the second rift here. It looks like they want to try to
Uma honra se você fizer isso, velho.
It isn't going to work out for this next Drake either. Like, it's going to be a very awkward amount of power they get from this, whereas I think if they had instantly run up and tried to collapse on the Faker, they might have gotten a turret worst case scenario.
It's a possibility.
A bit slow on the macro here, Dom1Kia, with that take.
Ah, mano, por enquanto os times estão só treinando, velho. Não tá tendo muito só treinando, só farmando.
Also sidesteps that last one, so we'll count that. Zeus here on the bottom side is going to start losing out in these side lanes right now. He's doing all right as Showmaker looking for Faker. Faker just looking for a minion wave. Wants this Akali to stop being silly. He's actually going to get stunned up, and so yeah, Faker will miss a bit
O Victor nem dá dano na Akali.
Showmaker's shenanigans.
Got the ultimate out, and you know, if there was only
a T1 agora congelou o mapa. O que a T1 fez? Eles estão guardando na linha da entrada da jungle deles. O TK e o Shinzal estão ficando dentro da jungle, rodando de lane em lane e ajudando eles a farmar e defender se for tomar alguma play. Então eles ficam perto do mid, a Jinx pega o wave, eles vão pra perto do Victor, ajuda o Victor a pegar o wave, e aí eles travaram o jogo e estão farmando. Só que o que acontece? Quando tem uma matchup de tipo Akali contra Victor, normalmente a Akali ela tem vantagem nessa de lane, né, obviamente. Então o Showmaker ele tava muito atrás do Faker. Só que o Faker teve que givar tanto pra fazer lane assignment certo e afins, que agora a Akali passou ele. Por quê? Porque, pô, durante o setup, o Faker tem que juntar, a Akali fica na side, logo a Akali fica pegando farm. Então, naturalmente, o Showmaker passou em farm o Faker. Isso acontecia muito, velho. Eu me tiltava um pouco isso às vezes. Porque, tipo, o cara pega assassino, ele vai ficar na tua frente de farm, velho. E é isso.
But again, if you look at what they could get with this Herald now, and what they could have even when they took it, like, T1 were right to give it up because what they gained was so much greater. And I know we keep going back to this, but the reason I keep harping on it is because T1's macro has just been so infallible, it feels like, as of late. Even at the beginning of the season, but in their last few series, it's really a standout.
Yeah, their decision-making has just been better. Right now, that has equated to just under Let's see whether this can be the changes. That knock-up was amazing! Canyon's gonna have to get out of there. Shirley does do some work. The flash has to be invested. Gets Canyon out of the way of the Super Mega Death Rocket, which looked to me like it was about to kill him. So
it's like a Lee Sin without flash is like a wizard without a wand. I mean, you know, it's your primary tool,
just
right?
A human.
Yeah.
Sim, às vezes o top tem que largar o farm. Normalmente, rapaz, você tem que entender que os times mid-game, eles optam muito por fazer o lane assignment 4-1, que é 4 numa lane e 1 em outra. Então, normalmente são 3 carries. Um deles não tá farmando. Às vezes é o mid lane, às vezes é o top lane. Depende. Por isso que tu vê, tipo, o jogo early game sendo tão lento, porque o pessoal quer farmar o máximo possível no early game, pra depois no mid game, quando tu tem que fazer o lane assignment certo, tu tá givando farm, mas tu não ficar tão atrás do jogo. Porque se tu farma pouco e começa o lane assignment no mid game, tu fica muito atrás, se tu é o cara que tem que givar. E nesse caso que tu tem um side laner no top e um control mage no mid, normalmente o control mage vai ter que givar, dividir farm com AD.
As Dom1Kia just desperately trying to get prio, and you've got good wave clear, but it isn't good enough to answer. Birdall can push super hard, as you can see, he is starting to win out these side lanes. He's not going to be able to threaten anything just yet. Like, Dom1Kia will be able to pull T1 around the map a little bit later.
Agora o jogo tá bom pra T1, mano. Eles conseguiram estabilizar o jogo, só farmando. Faker quase com 2 itens, Jinx com 2 itens. Por que eles fizeram isso também a T1? Porque o EZ tá com 2 itens agora. EZ com 2 itens é muito forte.
Winning this fight as Dom1Kia walking into T1 with no vision is going to be a challenge, and I think, you know, the risk here is so high, especially when your Lee Sin is flashless, you don't have any pick potential here.
Yeah, the forced engage just really isn't there, right? It's a Karma. Yes, you can run fast at them, but it has to be a flank, you know? You have to get that vision denial and make stuff happen right now. I mean,
eu li alguma coisa, foi um backdoor, né?
T1, so that setup for guaranteed vision and blindness for T1 is just not really there.
If they could force Zeus to over here on the flank ult, you know, for example, if Showmaker could make that happen, it would be fantastic, but he's he's just not there yet, right? He doesn't have a Shadow Flame online. If he did, you know, maybe he could actually force that to happen and they could look to win a fight without that ultimate. But Zeus is holding his ground.
Yeah, Gumiushi in a little bit of trouble, taking a bit of damage there from Dr. whose poke is relevant as he starts this one up. Not a lot of lifesteal completed here for Gumiushi, theoretically, as Showmaker standing on a control ward. Zeus checking the flanks nicely. You saw he actually popped the blast cone early, understood that flanks are a huge deal, as now Gumiushi actually going to bait them in. Bertle, unfortunately, doesn't have Mist available. He will manage to stay alive for the moment, but manages to wait for that cooldown as well, as T1 are just going to chase Damwon out of that river. Looks like the cloud is going to belong to T1 this time. Yeah,
and unfortunately for Showmaker, he wasn't able to do anything to Zeus, and the fight happened without Zeus. Like, he wasn't even, he didn't ult, he didn't flash, he didn't rock the belt.
Barrage might actually be relevant here. It's, T1
Eles vão lutar ainda DK, mano? Eles não lutam isso, nem fudendo. Não luta, não luta.
The area is not his target.
The power of Cannon existing here means it's so difficult for Damwon to actually fight and engage because they have to be wary of his angle, and here he is!
Yeah, here he goes! Zeus is going to lock, throws down an ignite, but that is all he really gets to do is, okay, some snips coming down as well as Canyon immediately is going to get ignited, the zap comes through.
Bom, não foi falta de aviso.
Excited, and now Carrier is trying to run this one down as well. Bertle going down extraordinarily low, and he will be taken out. It's Owner that collects that kill, and Damwon just not looking like the same team that we saw earlier on in the year. It's not looking like a three-gamer right now as this mid-outer turret's going to fall down.
Zeus' positioning was so perfect around every part of that. As Damwon went past the mid-turret into red side jungle to try to find a forced engage. This could be big.
Strong. Well, that's a lot of damage.
She, like, doesn't yield to afterwards.
Okay,
Free Nash isso.
This time. Showmaker the hero. Well, he's going to look for it, but it's going to be the Baron going down. Dom wanting to find that flank as in goes Showmaker immediately does.
Caralho, o Showmaker tá com síndrome de Tockers, velho. Pegar assassino e se matar.
Dom's turn. Let's just take it in turns.
Showmaker's like, I'm going in because he has the opportunity to get 3 kills in the backline. You're better than Poppy. Like, you do the same thing as Poppy, except you deliver that champion to your team.
Yeah.
Shut down the mobility, use it against your opponent. Oh, this is just a masterclass from T1, and Damwon are running out of options.
Yeah, this is Damwon definitely not looking like their old selves. So we have this minion wave being ushered towards the inner turret on the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, Bertle able to deal with the mid lane turret, but I think this one's definitely dead. I don't think Damwon in the 4 are going to be able to do anything, especially with Owner waiting off to the side. Bertle.
He's feeling the burden.
I was trying to find a way to not make that sound like a Freudian slip, but there was just no way making out of it, as it's not been on him, to be perfectly honest. It's been a
and then punish this if they positioned everywhere he needed to be in every single fight. Also, the bot lane went very well. Carry out roams, gave Faker huge leads over the Akali, and like you said, it's a team effort. Like, this T1 will get value every single place you give them a chance to on the map, and they'll trade, but they'll trade up. And it's hard to criticize this.
O macro que até tem jogado essas últimas rodadas, pra mim é, mano, o mais perto do perfeito que eu já vi.
I think the Damwon drafting has really, it's fallen off a little bit towards the second round robin, unfortunately. I feel like the Gwen as the 5th pick is really not giving the value that something like this Cannon is doing in this particular position, right? Like, if you don't manage to utilize the value of the side of the map that you're on in the draft, then I think that is like a huge failing, and an issue that you really need to sort out, because watching how, you know, the Caitlyn first pick, even though the lane didn't work out, T1...
Porque até jogando é literalmente como eu acho o jeito mais óptimo de se jogar League of Legends. É tipo como se eu falasse, mano, eu quero que um time jogue League of Legends perfeitamente da maneira que eu vejo League of Legends sendo jogado. Parece que foi até velho.
He actually dashed into that with, like, the sickest prediction, as Gumiushi knows he's going to try to get as far away as possible before he backs, right? Like, prediction is very good.
Yeah.
I love how T1 just 4-1 this, though, with the Cannon, who can, of course, engage from long away. And once he has his teleport back up, he becomes a force to be reckoned with. He's just skipped the stopwatch entirely this game because he doesn't care.
There are a few ultis on cooldown, but it looks like Owner does not care about that whatsoever. I'm going to clear out some vision as Kellen takes so much zap damage. This 3-item Jinx is really scary. True Shot Barrages are landing. More Malmortius done for Dr. in the Mythicless build that he has decided to go with. As T1 still here, setting up for the Drake, still feeling strong enough, and can't really blame him. 7,000 gold is their lead. They can smack him with their wallets. That's going to be the steal from Canyon, though. Gets the kickback onto Owner as well, and they just want to get out. Carrier is going to fall. Has he kept them in position for long enough is the question. The answer is T1 don't care. They're just getting out. As Showmaker, can he find the flank? There's the 5-point strike. He backflips through. Gets into the shroud as well. And
nossa, ele matou ainda, mano.
Gumayusi before he dies.
So we're going to be a lot of gold tying it up 2-2, which is really important because their side laning is better. They have the Akali that can side lane very well. They have the Gwen that can side lane, so they can 1-3-1 this.
Ele falou que ia dar o sub e deu mesmo, mano. Que cara bom.
Objective bounty here with this turret too, if they can actually secure it. Canyon's waiting
Homem de palavra. Raridade hoje em dia.
But this was a great win for Damwon-Kia, and finally I feel like we have something we can pretty hard criticize T1 for, the way that they more gold into his pocket so he can do it again and again and again as Akali becomes more lethal.
Well, Canyon could be in trouble. There's the dash cannon. Q going to connect there onto Owner as Showmaker. Let's see whether he can get himself out of this scenario. Does have the Twilight Shroud as now Owner decides he doesn't want to fight this one. Not enough members of T1 in the area. Gumayusi is going to turn up as the Flame Chompers go down. Showmaker immediately goes gold, and Gumayusi is still free hitting. Doctorm taking so much, but does manage to get rid of the Jinx. And now Owner pops his stopwatch as well. As Bertol's chasing after him, he's going to snip through the Zins out. Faker has to flash, but Bertel does manage to get over that wall as well. Zeus, can you get the stuns down? Bertel, can you kill Faker? And the answer is yes in the end.
And this should be a Baron. Damwon-Kia have completely turned this game around now. It took one false move from T1, taking that Drake fight without their ultimates, then pushing together and overextending on the top side of the map, and suddenly all of that lead that T1 had, all the tempo, all the map control, can be wiped off. It's a clean slate here on the Rift.
Pior que aqui não é nem macro, mano. É decisão errada.
Becoming a real pressure that they have to deal with. Zeus' ult timing there, not great, not really going to get a ton of value. Also now flashless, also now ultless. There's no way that T1 could try to come across the map.
Super Mega Death Rocket. Never. Still going to throw it, but the Baron is going to get taken on the way. So Jonas Strong doesn't even get to have a good time.
So Damwon
getting a bit ahead of themselves.
É, a T1 tá muito bem, velho. Mas tu vê, a T1 perde jogos se, tipo, eles dão engage errado ou se eles começam a trollar, mano. O macro deles é insano, cara, é insano. Vocês nunca viram falar isso de um time, mano. Eu assisto eles e eu me assusto. Porque eu viro e falo, mano, eu acho que a melhor jogada possível é essa. 5 segundos depois eles fazem. A T1 não vai trocar o Zeus pelo Nuguri, mano. Com o time dando certo assim. E o Nuguri já não deu certo na FPX, velho, porque ele não tinha amigos. Não acho que na T1 vai ser muito diferente, ele vai querer ir pra DK.
There were just not necessarily super obvious, but it is there. There were so many fights, I think, where if he had a stopwatch, he would have been able to push the issue further, and you know, unless he bought one and used it and it broke, and then he sold the broken one, and I missed it, which I really did.
So he's not back in base. I saw something happen to his items.
Yeah, we'll see soon, but he's gonna need one, is what I'm getting at here. Yeah. Like if he's used it already, which I don't think has happened, but if he did, he's not gonna have it now. He needs a Zonius. He needs that activatable to survive and be able to go deep.
Well, now we've got 6 items for Doctorm. We need to turn the little cape into something here for Gumayusi, and we'll see what that's going to be in a little bit. But he has so much damage. Like, this is damage. For the Jinx, not going to be picking up anything like, those defensive choices.
He's backing Zeus right now, but he's in this.
Caralho, que desenho tem cooldown, velho.
Pushing too far here. If you don't win a fight, you can't get map control back against this comp. It's too risky, you're too fragile. Even the Tahm Kench doesn't feel great clearing wards into this. So if you don't win a fight as T1, like your chances of then...
You still need to try and get towards a point where you can actually get those 5v5s happening. I think T1 now trying to play around this Baron in the minute before this Cloud Soul comes up. They're probably just not going to fight for the Cloud Soul, is what I would assume.
Lost that could have been...
Zeus has a death cap now.
Yeah, it does not, of course, have a stasis, but he just clearly wants the damage instead. That's been his MO this whole game. He's looking for an angle here.
Yeah, you can see the vision of T1. Not a whole lot. Canyon still waiting for his opportunity. And here we are, all of T1 grouped up. Faker spots Canyon on the flank, and immediately he gets the heck out of there. That's going to be the kickback, and there are multiple flashes all over, but Canyons is used defensively.
Now
That is
Damwon
absolutely
Faker.
huge for T1.
They should be able to just rush over.
Dois
here.
flash por isso.
Damwon can actually get onto this Elder first. They had so much power, but they're not able to do so. They didn't know where Zeus was, which is the scariest thing, right? Okay, we were able to see T1 push for the Canyon pick. But
Man,
not
this
able to
Cannon is really doing some big damage right now. With that death cap now completed, he is very scary. You saw Bertle there towards the south of your screen. It's taken a lot, but now this is looking like it's going to be
50-50 mesmo, e foda-se.
Can actually get that flash in there as Showmaker comes down. It is going to be the Elder taken by Canyon. His smite hand so strong as in towards this backline they go. Gumayusi starting to pop off, and it doesn't matter.
Foda-se, Dragon.
You've got an Elder if you've
Tem
got
uma
the rocket
Jinx
launcher that this Jinx has.
batendo
Bertle
pouco,
is gonna
velho.
go into his stasis, but he's still gonna die. And Damwon Kia, they get the Elder Drake, but they lose out on the fight.
And Damwon Kia will be able to take him on the opposite here. I don't know if they'll be able to get more than that, but Gumayusi is certainly looking for it.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage not going to find Carrier, and it looks like T1 are done with this game. Maybe they just want to try and end. They have so much turret damage with Faker and Gumayusi here, especially with this Lichbane build as Faker.
Morreu.
Oh my god, so incredibly close.
Nossa, o dano dele.
The issue here, you have opposite side to Baron inhibitor down, so just back off, respawn, let those super they can end the game. But to potentially come on through trading.
Não, eles não vão ficar da GG, né?
It's a mistake some teams have made.
Eles são muito inteligentes,
willing
pô.
to make this risk or take this risk as T1 because you're up 1-0 in this series too.
They're thinking of going for a flip for it as now Bertle will try and get out, and the fact that he does escape successfully is huge. But now Ona trying to stop these backs. The Baron has been stopped. Ona's trying to get over there. Doctime immediately kills him as now Bertle. Can he actually stop this? Nexus turret number 1 goes down. Showmaker loses his entire health bar before he manages to go into his Zhonya's, and then is going to be taken down. Now the Nexus is back. Gumayusi flashes, gets himself out of the way, and T1 secure the 3-0.
Caralho, velho.
Oh man, they made
Que
it
cal
sweat
foda,
for it.
sério.
Oh, T1
Eles são muito
steal
inteligentes,
the game
mano.
away. Damwon Kia,
Parece
this
que existe
team is
algum
going
time
for
no
Baron.
mundo capaz de
They're gonna
bater
try
Super
and use that
Fúria, né,
bot pressure
velho?
to push the inhibitor lane and then take Baron away from us to get more control. T1 said, I
São
need
muito
to do
inteligentes,
that.
cara.
You're all gonna be
Eles
running
acham
to the Baron,
resposta
trying
pra
to force
simplesmente
that flip, trying to
tudo.
force that team fight into our favor. But no, we're gonna hide in the bush. You don't have any control over this wave. You have no vision
Porra!
whatsoever, and we're gonna take the Nexus for Baron trade that you mentioned.
Como é que joga contra isso?
A lot of teams make that
Não
mistake.
joga.
That's Damwon Kia.
Eu tô muito em choque, velho. Eles são muito bons, cara. É bizarro.